Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Robot Tech. My name is Beskar75, and today I don't even know. Look, it's good that we start off with laughing and fooling around. My name is Scout75. I'm with the achievement hunter Beskar Snake here. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. That's a generous moniker that is definitely used by others.
Look,
But no,
I've been on Twitter a lot as well as I usually am, and additionally, like you've been tweeting about your achievements, which that was your goal this year. So maybe you could allude to some of those achievements. Oh, maybe we should start by talking about what this podcast is about. We talk about video games, man. Look, it's been like months that we haven't
it, it,
recorded.
it's
I'm
been a bit.
sorry. We've been
It has been a little bit of
through
time.
some stuff. It's just personal stuff. We're good. We're back. We're back in Boulder.
We're here.
You could tell we haven't done this in a while. But we talk about video games, what we played last month, gaming news and topics, and kind of see where we're at. And so
General tomfoolery.
yeah, we just talk about nonsense honestly for an hour. So yeah, talk about like achievements you've received in the past month. I saw maybe talk about the way Twitter formulates those tweets, like what program or what have you. Just like I've seen all these achievements from Beskar Snake, so I'm excited to hear some of those already.
So basically, yeah, like Scouter said, one of the big things that I'm trying to push for this year, in addition to like kind of in conjunction with Extra Life, is trying to work a little bit more through my backlog and try to take on fewer new games. I know that's never going to stop just because that's the
Okay,
nature
buddy,
of
keep dreaming.
hey, I said it's not going to stop.
Yeah.
But but no. So there is a website called PSN Profiles,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been on it for a little while. I learned about it through actually a few other Extra Life members. Um, and it'll track your progress. It has leaderboards and all this stuff for PlayStation achievements. So you can tie your profile to it, and when you earn some trophies, you can tweak all these sorts of settings. I haven't looked too much into all of those yet. Like I said, I've been on the website for a while, but I didn't have it auto generate tweets and social media posts and everything until just recently. But if you earn, I don't, like I said, I don't remember, I don't know exactly how it works, but if you earn a trophy, basically it generates a tweet.
Hmm.
Um, but it can also combine some of those. Like I know there's sometimes where, like one of the games that I've played over the past couple months is Siphon Filter 3, and there's been a few times where I've been playing where I've earned multiple trophies, and instead of just saying, "Oh, Beskar Snake unlocked," insert whatever the trophy name is here, it'll say Beskar Snake unlocked 7 achievements or 7 trophies in this game. So it doesn't always necessarily generate one tweet for every single. So if you have a very busy day or a very busy gaming session, it doesn't pump out 20 different tweets. I'm sure you can tweak that a little bit more, um, but like I said, I need to dig into that a little bit more and just kind of tweak the settings and everything. Um, but I'm trying to kind of use it as incentive for me because I like completing things. I like earning trophies. I like earning Steam achievements and game achievements and stuff. It just adds that extra little bit of excitement and an extra goal. And I know we've talked before on the podcast about specific goals in games and things like that. And I really like that aspect of gaming. Um, I learned about another, uh, what's it called? Shoot, it's another website where it works with older games like Super Nintendo, original PlayStation, PlayStation 2, original X. Well, no, I think Xbox always had achievements. I believe I could be wrong, but you can work with, like I said, Super Nintendo, Game Boy, all these old games, and it works in conjunction with emulators, and it has its own list of achievements for those games. So if you're, a retro gamer, the title of the website has retro in it somewhere. Um, I need to double check what it is, and I apologize. I'm breaking the number one rule of getting on my device. I know. We're always prepared on this podcast.
Yeah, never.
So
Never.
I have broken that immersion for everyone, and I apologize greatly.
To be fair,
It's probably I think it's something insanely simple and straightforward. I'm drawing a blank. Panicking. It's literally just retroachievements.org.
Nice.
So I was overcomplicating it.
Yeah.
But, that's one of the things that I love about the gaming community is that's all done by, I don't know how big of a team or anything, if it's a small group of people or whatever, but they have thousands of games on there that, never had achievements, never had trophies, never had any of these extra goals outside of the game itself, and they added these. Like I was looking as this is a new game for me, but I think it's called Metal Gear Solid.
Never heard of it.
I don't know. I was just scrolling through some stuff.
Yeah.
But that game has never had trophies or achievements of any kind for it. They have, I think, like 80 some or 100 some achievements that they made just through different things in that game, and they've added to it to add that extra little bit of that extra replayability for maybe somebody like me who I've played through the game many
once.
times.
Oh, okay.
Just once, one time. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. I forgot. Yeah. I've played through the game so many times, and I'm still learning things all the time, even through speedrunning the game or just playing through the story of it. Still learning little bits and little bobs and little things that I never came across before. Adding those achievements adds that extra layer. It gives another reason to go back and visit that game. Or there's a lot of times where I've looked at certain games, like say on the Switch or retro games, that I'm like, man, I really want to go back and play that. But I'm kind of disappointed because there's no achievements to it. There's no trophies. There's no extra little bit. And I know there are a lot of good games that don't have them. Like I've played a ton of games on my Switch, and I love my Switch. It's the one thing that kills me about Nintendo. Yeah. There's nothing there, and they've talked about it before. They've openly said we have no interest in adding any sort of achievements to our platform. And I understand that. I think it's been a while since I've looked up anything that they've talked about, but I think one thing they really tried to hone in on was the fact that they feel it takes away from playing the game itself, because people get so focused on getting these achievements and things like that. They want you to just experience the story. They want you the way it was meant to be told. I think that's kind of their main reason for doing it. But yeah, something like retro achievements, it allows for, if you do want to go back and visit some of those old games, but still want to get that extra little drive to play more of the game or explore more. There's a lot of times where I just want to get through a game kind of quickly. I want to beat the main story and then move on to the next game. Having achievements and all that kind of gives some people a reason to explore more, to branch out, to venture out down, that side quest or that side character that you don't ever have to explore or deal with. But now if you want to get those achievements, you have to, you've got to play that portion of the game. But yeah, so I mean that's where, as Scott would point out, where all of those auto-generated tweets and things are coming from. I've been a big, um, I've been on Meta Gamer Score for quite a while now, a few years, and that puts it combines multiple profiles. Like, you have your PlayStation, your Steam, your Xbox, your actually retro. I just learned recently retro achievements is on there, and it adds your score and everything. Um, but that's just another way to generate more excitement to want to drive to, get higher on a leaderboard, get higher on this and that, and I don't really pay too much attention to my leaderboard ranking, because I know there are a lot of people that are very good at earning achievements and all that, and when it comes down to it, I still just want to play video games.
Right.
I'm not trying to make a career out of it, and there are plenty of people that do, like Scouter mentioned earlier, kind of jokingly, achievement hunter.
I was going to say achievement hunter.
Somebody incredible to watch and very good at completing games. The completionist,
Right.
Literally somebody who has set out and made a career of starting games and beating them completely,
Right.
doing everything you possibly can in the game. And I can't fault anyone for wanting to do that, because, hey, if you're having fun, if you're enjoying it, if that's what you want to do, by all means, that's awesome. But like I said, at the core of it, I still want to play games casually. I still want to play games and just have some fun. Kind of like a husky that just want to
Yeah,
have,
it's just just like your dog.
just husky things.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
I knew.
But yeah, so
that's awesome. No, it's cool to see, and really cool integration. I think, especially for someone like you, like your goal was to set out to get achievements, get platinum, and this would help in that way. Maybe does it like so you could you pull it up offline, like through an app or just online, right?
Yeah, it's just a web app. I think I looked to see if they have a just like a regular phone application.
Right. But it's cool
And,
to see like offline and be like, you know what, Red Dead Redemption. I could do this achievement offline. And log in. You don't have to pull up the menu and scroll through it.
yeah, and they, if you want them, they offer guides. Like, I got this year so far, I've already gotten 2 platinum trophies. One for Final Fantasy VII, which it was a huge personal goal for me, because that's one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
So to be able to get the platinum trophy in that was awesome. And there was a part of it that I thought was a lot more complicated than it was. When on PSN profiles, they had a breakdown of it, and it was a lot easier than I expected, but you still have to pick the right things at the right times. And there's a lot of it that if you choose the wrong option, you don't know until you get to that point in the game. So to have a guide to kind of to make sure, because I mean that's another game that I've beaten, at least a handful of times, and so to be able to have that guide in a very easy, manageable place is just awesome. The other platinum that I've gotten this year was Ghostbusters Spirit Unleashed, and I was really struggling with one of it was the third to last trophy that I got, and it was a little more complex. Nothing in that game is too in depth, too complex, but again, just having that little bit of extra guidance to be able to look up. I didn't have to scroll through 83 pages. I didn't have to,
Right.
Search around on YouTube a ton and do all this stuff. It was just all combined right in one location, and I could just go, oh, that's the trophy that I need, because on the website, you can see which trophies you've unlocked, obviously, and you can also filter it by not earned trophies. So I was able to go, okay, I need these 3 trophies left. Okay, that one's just get a total of this amount of destruction, so that's just going to happen naturally over time. And then the other one that I was looking for, it was right there. Could just click on it, go to the guide, kind of see a breakdown of it. And so yeah, the people that are running that, I greatly appreciate them, and they're doing an awesome job on that.
That's good. It's kind of like so you have you played well, it's not related, but have you looked into Dixper?
I have a little bit. I know
Yeah.
you guys were doing some awesome stuff with it. I want to dig more into it this year
Yeah.
finally.
It's
But
cool.
I haven't delved into it nearly as much as I would like to.
So, if you don't know, we kind of mentioned it. We stream for Extra Life, but we fundraise for sick and injured kids. So donate. Anyways, there's a integration. I'm sure you could do it without Extra Life, but integration where you,
Probably.
if you don't, and Extra Life only set up a few, and I'm sure they'll work out some more kinks, and I know Dixper on their end has to work some stuff out. I'm sure it's very complicated thing to put into one. So you can when you sign up for Extra Life today, extralife.org, by the way, it's
You
free
can sign up for free.
for free. Did you know that? So yeah, sign up there, and then register. Like you gotta put in some code in Dixper, and they have. It's only a few of them. Like I said, it's only like maybe 5 or 6. But like I said, it's just I would say in beta right now. I know Dixper's in beta, but I'm sure again it's very complicated. I'm sure. And Dixper is I think KKR knows the team behind it.
Okay.
So like he obviously it's normal people who maybe are still figuring out. So if you donate, let's say $5, you could basically mash the jump button multiple times, and you get a donation out of it. So I feel like that integration and like something that you're talking about is just adds an element of gaming stuff, especially another challenge, I guess, to games. Like, oh, I gotta be prepared for the space key, or I think there's another one that it just has like it blocks everything but a little scope in your game. Like, I gotta be prepared for all of this, and so and I think turns off the black, like gives a black screen for like a second or two. But it's kind of, oh, am I gonna get a donation? Should I be careful? I need to. It's actually really fun. Is really good, and got a good amount of donations out of it. So it's a win-win. So
Yeah,
it's
obviously.
cool.
Oh,
Sorry, go ahead.
oh no. Sorry, you go ahead and finish your
I
thought.
was
I didn't
saying
mean
like
to.
what you're saying, just adds that extra. Yeah, I played Dead by Daylight multiple times and I lost multiple times, and it's challenging enough. But hey, let's make it more challenging. Or Mario Kart and games that I've played already.
No.
Made it more fun. Go on. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no. It's a lot of people have heard of crowd control,
Right.
and I'm glad to see that. I hope that with Dixper, and there are other groups and organizations and websites and stuff out there that start doing more of this integration with games. I know some more games are getting like Twitch support.
Right.
Like one big example, I haven't played it personally, but I've watched some people play it. Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah.
I know that has Twitch integration to it. What was the game that KKR was playing? Call of the King, or
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, that had
King of the Castle.
King of the Castle. Yes, thank you. That, and I just really hope that a lot more games start getting that integration with them, because, like you said, I know a lot of times with crowd control, a lot of people are playing games that they've again played thousands of times, beaten multiple times, and now you're adding that new element to go back and go, okay, how can people mess with my game so that way, you know, I've played. Let's just use. There isn't any integration that I know of for Metal Gear Solid. But let's just say for Metal Gear Solid, I've fought Revolver Ocelot hundreds of times.
That is.
Hey, you beat him.
I did. I sure did.
And that's about the only one you've beaten. Yeah. But, no, I will not.
I will this week.
I should have.
Maybe. I say that every week, don't I?
We'll see. I should start making for every week that you don't play it, you have to donate like $5 or something. So that way, it's got to be something that's going to add up real quick. Every weekend that you don't play, you've got to donate. I don't know, like $1,000 to Extra Life. You better start playing.
Yeah, I have a little bit more time now. We're good. Maybe. So to get everything settled.
Yeah,
anyway.
But like I said, I've fought Revolver Ocelot 100 times, 1,000 times, so many times, and with Metal Gear Solid, there's a lot of patterns. Sometimes, not always. Kojima is a master, and he freaking can still make things even way back then be random at times. But something that you've done, I could almost do in my sleep beating him. You add in that crowd control, that dick spur, that Twitch integration, that donation incentive, whatever it is, and you can turn things on its head, literally. Like Scouter said, I know I watched some of their games with dick spur, and they had one thing, because it was right around Halloween, that it would rain candy, so that'd be a distraction, and that would cover up your screen so you couldn't see as well. And just adding those is just adding that much more fun and that much more interactivity which is awesome. It's one of the things that I like about Twitch, because you do have that live interaction with people, or YouTube Live, or anything like that. It's not something, which I know it's kind of ironic that this is going to be uploaded on YouTube and Spotify, which I still see both today.
Yeah.
But you have that direct integration. You can't directly interact with a YouTube video. If you're watching somebody do gameplay, you can watch it and everything, but you can't control it. You can't twist it. You can't turn it. But if you're watching somebody play live, if Scouter's playing Dead by Daylight and I sit there and have it, mash the left click button, well, if he's the killer, well, now he's just, he's just swinging away. Can't really control any of that, moving slower, doing all of this stuff.
You gotta definitely, it's hard to time, but actually someone timed it pretty well with Unbound, to mash the space button pretty well for Unbounded, or the jump button. And she was when you're being chased by the killer, there's a pallet you can drop on him to stun him for a little bit. There's a pallet that's already dropped, and you could still go over it, but basically to press it at the same time, she's going back and forth on it, and I was luckily she wasn't being chased by the killer, but it's kind of funny, and it was oh my god.
It's those little things where as a streamer it could be frustrating, but
honestly,
if that donation,
I think it made it way funner. Like I said, that game is frustrating.
Yeah, I definitely have not given up on that game 6 times.
Okay.
But yeah, it adds that extra, and especially, I'm sure, like I said, I haven't used it that much. I only did a couple test things with it, so you can probably speak to this more. The fact that money is going to be going to charity probably makes that irritation just a little less better. Frustrating.
Right. You're what?
It adds a little bit of whipped cream on the the pile of frustration there is there.
Yeah, it's great moments, and I think great clips, and I think great for the chat as well. I think as KKR was streaming for a different charity, and his plays City Skylines, and he plays with integrations all the time, and you could donate and get coins, and then mess up with his games, and I tried. Unfortunately, he wasn't positioned right, but it's still kind of funny to see asteroid and just I will say, kind of getting back. I've played Plate Up this month, which is Overcooked 2, And it's kind of like Overcooked, but you could
I was
kind
like,
of
wait, Overcooked 2 is Overcooked
yeah,
2.
it's Overcooked too. It's kind of like Overcooked, but in a way of you could like set up your restaurant. You could pick like the levels, and then you could pick um like way to set up the restaurant. So it's a little bit more like custom in a way, but it is
Mhm.
still challenging. And basically, it has Twitch integrations, which I was like, it's by the Yogscast, by the way. So they're very small indie. Well, let's say indie developing. I would say indie developing, but they're a very small developer that they have Twitch integration. You could visit the restaurant that we're playing in, and you could also order the stuff too. So like it'll say order 1, 2, and 3. You want a steak or you want a pizza or whatever, and you could say order 1, order 2 in chat. So it's like really like even something like that was like I was like that's cool. Like that is cool. And actually you could have your chat vote like it has different challenges per like 4 rounds or 5. Whereas like, oh, add gravy to turkey, and now you have another element that people can order, and or let's say yeah, or say another challenge, decrease patience or whatever, and then you could have Twitch your chatters vote on it, and you basically are stuck with it. So I was like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
It kind of adds again this different element to the game that's already fun, and it obviously gets not only the chatter chatting, but like them be like, oh yeah, I'm ordering a turkey with gravy and like, or great service or whatever, just like role
Yeah.
playing a little
Yeah.
bit. It's really cool. Definitely check out Played Up. I'd recommend it. We've been playing it so much. It's really fun. But
It's a lot of fun to watch too.
yeah.
I've been able to jump in a few times or lurk and everything, and yeah, it's
So I'm excited for what the future will hold with like integrations and like who
Mhm.
knows, maybe this YouTube video you could make our faces inverted or something. Who knows? That'd be weird. But
Yeah,
who knows
I
what the
feel
future
like
holds.
that would be if YouTube wanted to do that. That'd be even I'm not a programmer. I'm not
Yeah, I
a
wouldn't even imagine what I
I
would do.
had like 3 programming classes in college, and those were just required for my degree for
I was waiting for you
electronics.
to say,
So
and I failed them all. I'm like, all right. It's like, all right.
no, I actually did pass them
No, I'm just
somehow.
kidding. No.
But um but I would think in that regard it would almost be easier because it's something that's set in time, if that makes sense. um like the YouTube video, it's already recorded. You already have what so you're just adding something on top of it. Whereas with live streaming, if I do this randomly, it's got to now find my face, or if
Right.
I do this, or if I put my hand up here or something, in real time.
Right. It's gonna
if
be
if you
hard.
have something that's trying to skin my hand, it might not catch up with it right away.
Right.
Whereas on a YouTube video, if I do this, it already knows where my hand's going to be, so it'd be able to map whatever that is. That's
Seems
what I was trying to get.
very
But yeah, like I
strange.
said, I'm
Right.
not a computer coder. I don't work for any tech company like that. So please, if anybody has that experience, let us know in the comments how
Smack it.
difficult that would be.
That sounds insane. I was just thinking to myself too, like I know this is kind of irrelevant, but like, man, just like having more abilities to like support people. Like, for instance, let's just set an example. Like, if you love this podcast a lot, obviously, yeah, you pay a subscription to Spotify. But if you could be like, hey, you know what? I love Robot Attack. I'm gonna give them $1. I love this episode of Robot Attack. They did a good job talking about Resident Evil 4 and Metal Gear Solid. You know what? $5. And like some sort, I would love to throw so many like small musicians money, and I
Hmm.
actually subscribe to one on YouTube with the membership thing. So it's like I'm glad that like YouTube has that, like, yes, YouTube is free, but yes, you could now support this this individual this way, and especially like small streamers like me, you. I mean, I know they have Twitch, and I know there's coffee and other ways to support streamers, but the best way to support a streamer is for them to sign up for Extra Life and donate to the charity. So that's putting that out there. I'm just kidding.
He knows what he's talking about.
Not, but
he knows what he's talking about.
But stuff like that, like little bit of like I want to throw more money at this guy or individual, and it's a lot of fun.
Okay, you didn't tell me you're a magician. You're just pulling a cat out of the screen. What the heck just happened there?
Don't worry about it.
I'm clearly worried about it because you could have been attacked. And that's not even a robot, as far as I know. If it is, it's a very well done robot.
Yeah, sorry. I also have an animal in this stream. So it's pretty. I'm excited what the future will hold, and already I'm excited already with Dixper is so much fun, and I know they're still having. They may have fixed this, but I know recently they've been having issues with some things. It looked like they fixed some of it. I saw it update today, the other day, but so I'm really excited about what the future will hold. Twitch integrations, and even so, Twitch now has the ability you can by the subscription button donate to charity. So it's that's a great step. I know they don't have Extra Life, but at least a good step in the right direction. I know, right? I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork, and I'm sure there's a lot of behind the scenes that we don't know about.
Yeah. Of course.
I'm sure they have the emote. I'm sure eventually they will. So yeah, I'm glad they have that, and I'm glad already what the future is with the video games and just these abilities to have on video games. It's really cool. Really brings another element and challenge to these games. It's really fun. We went way off topic, and we're 30 minutes. It's a good start. It's good. It's very usual. What games, since I mentioned that, what games have you played last month?
Wait, I played video games?
Well, I guess the last 3 months, because I feel like it's been 3 months.
What games have we played the last year?
Within the last year.
Like I mentioned, I finished up the Platinum Trophy for Final Fantasy VII, finished up the Platinum Trophy for Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed, started really digging into Siphon Filter 3. Yes.
How is Ghostbusters, by the way?
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I could see how people might get bored with it after a little while, because there's only, I think it's 5 maps, and I can't remember how many ghosts you can play as, because it's very similar to Dead by Daylight, Friday the 13th, things like that, where you have 4 Ghostbusters and you have 1 ghost, and so it's obviously the Ghostbusters versus the ghosts, so you're competing in that regard. But there was a while when I first got it that I actually got it through an Extra Life giveaway. So another little plug there. But
man, this Extra Life thing sounds really cool.
How
do I sign up again? Is it extralife.org, I think, right?
I believe so. You should probably type that in and look to see if something comes up. And it probably says sign up.
Right, and then you just click that, and it's just I don't know, 2 to 3 minutes, not even.
It doesn't take that long, and you can do it all completely free.
And then you could put it towards sick and injured kids, and you could select a hospital. It seems really cool.
True, and it's what I think it's at least 3 hospitals in North America.
Minimum? At least hundreds, by the way.
Oh, I think it's only 4 or 5 right now, but which, by the way, they're in their 15th year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So yeah.
Go on. Sorry.
No. You are perfectly fine.
What we were talking about now.
But yeah, with Ghostbusters, like I said, it's a lot of fun. I haven't played it with anybody else, because when I got it, not many people, or actually nobody that I knew had it either. So I was kind of trying to burn through these trophies. I actually didn't set out to intentionally get the platinum, but as I was looking through it, it's a relatively easy platinum and it's a really fun platinum. So I ended up just going, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and work on the platinum for this.
Right.
But in addition to that,
It seems like one of the best Ghostbuster games
it is
right now ever, or I'd say
th-
ever.
there was one other one that I played. I can't even remember how many years ago. I want to say it was I'm pretty sure it was PS3. But it was actually a pretty good game. I couldn't tell
Okay,
you
fair
the
enough.
name of it for sure, but it was pretty good. It kept my attention. I think it was just Ghostbusters the game. Don't quote me on that. I may be way off base. But yeah, no, it's a really well done adaptation. Um, like I said, it's relatively basic, but eh, I don't know. It's cool. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. As the Ghostbusters, you when you're trying to tether the ghost, the more people that have their tether on it, the harder it is for the ghost to get away.
Mm.
But the ghost can also sabotage things. You can sabotage the proton packs. You can sabotage the traps. You can haunt objects. It's a lot of fun.
So it's probably more fun with more friends and stuff.
Absolutely. Like I said, I
That's
haven't
rough
gotten the
though.
chance to play with other friends, but I played with other random people
Well, just getting
online,
more
and that was
friends.
a lot of
Just
fun.
kidding.
I don't want to. I don't like people.
I don't know. Just kidding.
Nah. Yeah, like I said, I played with a lot of random people online, and I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Even not knowing
Oh,
the people that I was
well, I'm
playing
sure you
with.
could play open, open, open.
Yeah. You can either play against the AI with AI Ghostbusters, AI Ghost,
That
or
seems
you can.
rough.
It's actually not that bad. A couple of the trophies, I didn't want to wait for a lobby to open up, even though it didn't take very long because there were a lot of people playing. But I did play with a couple AIs, some AI rounds, and it actually made some of it a little bit easier because you didn't get in with really good people that were winning really quickly, so you could work on some of the other the other trophies and achievements. So that actually worked out in my favor.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, no, if you have any interest in the game, I highly recommend at least looking into some videos of it because it is a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
Um, but but yeah, that I started the Dead Space remake. Also
I
got
was
that through
also
an Extra
that.
Life giveaway. That's really awesome. I mean, I loved the original game.
You're playing a horror game? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
I'm playing a good horror game.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Am I speaking to Beskar Snake? Am I hold on. It says Beskar Snake, right? Hold on. It's got a Beskar Snake.
I'm
Okay.
really
Yeah. Who is this?
It's me the whole time.
Yeah.
But no, I loved the Dead Space series. It was a really well done game. Um,
It looks fun.
I mean, it's space. I love space.
Mm.
But yeah, it's not one of the best things that I liked about it. And I remember seeing I think it was a preview for I think it was the first Dead Space game. And one thing that they pointed out is that game does a really good job of letting you get just comfortable enough and then throwing something sideways.
Right.
So like one of the biggest issues that I have with horror movies, horror games, things like that is they're so predictable,
Yeah.
and that's fine. People that like them, I'm glad you enjoy them, but for me, sometimes it just gets too boring.
Yeah.
Mostly movies, horror video games, I tend to like a little bit more because it is easier to get immersed into that because you're controlling it.
Right.
In a movie, if you're just sitting there, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen.
Right.
One of the quick little side note, just since we're on this random subject, one of the scariest things that ever happened in a video game was I was playing Fear 2, I think it was, with a couple friends. and we were in one of the labs or something. We had cleared all the enemies out, but we heard this like manic laughing just in the background. We're like, okay, there's an enemy somewhere. We've got to find them, you know. And we were starting to think like, oh, maybe it's just, you know, a background noise just to mess with you. And we're looking everywhere. We're going in and out of this lab. We're going in between these desks. We're going through all this stuff. Nothing. Probably like 10 minutes. We're just going through, go to walk through a doorway, and this dude just pops out. And, you know, it wasn't scripted. We had gone through that doorway 1,000 times.
Right.
That enemy must have gotten caught on something. You know, whatever it was, just caught somewhere, glitched out somewhere, somehow broke free finally, and delivered one of the scariest unscripted things that has ever happened in a video game before.
Nice, yeah.
You know, just little things like that. You don't get that in a movie. You know, the protagonist isn't going to walk around for half an hour in one space back and forth, and then something different's going to randomly happen.
Right.
Most likely. I'm surprised somebody hasn't made a movie like that if they haven't.
Right.
But yeah, with Dead Space, you're walking through a hallway and the music gets kind of eerie, and you're like, okay, something's going to jump out of a vent. And then nothing happens. And you're like, okay. And then 10 minutes later, something pops out of a vent. You're like, no, you know, they got me. They tricked me. They lulled me into a false sense of security. And now, but yeah, so Dead Space, really good.
I do wanna. I mean, I haven't played any of the other previous Dead Space, but yes, I was interested in that one as well.
Like I said, the first one was incredible. I really like the second one. The third one, they went a little too actiony, but it's still a good game. It's still a really fun game, and I never got a chance to do the co-op with anyone, but they had a really interesting mechanic where, like, say you and I were playing co-op in Dead Space 3, you see an enemy, you start shooting at that enemy. I look over and go, what are you shooting at? Because I wouldn't be able to see it or interact with it. So they're playing sort of a mental game where you see a very real enemy that could come and end your game, but I can't do anything to help you because I think the idea was to kind of try to focus around sanity in a way. And yeah, if we're both just walking along and you just randomly start shooting at something and I go, what are you shooting at? You know, that's going to drive me nuts. But yeah, no, I really hope. I haven't gotten that far into the Dead Space remake. As far as I know, or I don't think it's a remake. I think it's just a remaster, basically. Everything so far has been the same from what I remember, and it's still a fantastic game. So I very even if you don't like horror games,
I hate them.
It's I know you do. You hate good ones.
Yeah.
It never gets old.
It's all right. I'll get you later.
I can do that too.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I can't see anything.
I will say that like me and Unbound just recently watched Silent Hill. And I never seen that Silent Hill, and it was really like the story was kind of. I'm a little bit lost in it if you haven't seen it, but I can probably spoil things, but I basically I kind of got a little bit like what's going on, like during the plot. Maybe it's just because I'm dumb, but regardless, is just
I doubt that.
Really, yeah, no, maybe it's just me. It was just, and I'm sure I know there's a Silent Hill too, so maybe I will watch that and explain some more. But it was really good horror. Now I'm like, I want to play the video game now. I know that the old video game of Silent Hill isn't. I mean, is what I heard. So is not as good. And I know that they're coming out with a new Silent Hill coming out probably soon. I don't know when, but I'm really. I kind of want to pick it up now. Like just watching that movie. Yeah, it's really good. Like it's really good horror. And I mentioned this in the podcast. It's like what you're talking about of I don't like the boo factor. I just like to see this monster coming out and be like, what's it gonna do? Where does it come from? How did you think of that?
Yeah.
What type of what in your mind imagine this monster like? And I'm like, is it gonna kill me? Is it just gonna stalk around? I don't know. Like, is it gonna give me a hug? I don't know. Anyways, probably not that one. But
death hug.
Yeah, it's like a scary story. Oh, that's a spoiler. Scary stories that tell in the dark. Also good, but very kiddish, but very. Anyways, yeah, it's good. I'm excited. I will probably eventually pick that up. Say that to everything, but
Sounds like an extra life incentive if you hit a certain amount that you'll play the game.
yeah, I still gotta do some Dark Souls and stuff. I really gotta catch up to stuff. I want to say I played Trackmania. I mentioned this before, but this month I played Trackmania, and it's on Steam, by the way. It's for free, I think. I've played Trackmania Nations forever. Back I was like 12 years old, 12, 13, and Trackmania 2020. I think it's gonna be released. I think this month on consoles and everything else, and I know a lot of people are excited about it, and I'm really glad to get into the game. They have seasons that you could play, and they have and I mentioned this I think in the past podcast, but I have a lot of gold medals in like I'd say the first three up to green. So like there's white, green, and blue. So I'm like in the blue where I'm like half and half, but I'm like silver, gold. But like I'm like, wow, I'm actually like I'm not good. I'm not like great, but I'm like I've been playing so much Trackmania lately, and it's fun. I played, as I mentioned, played up. Also played Sea of Thieves. I'm really glad I'm getting back into that game, and it's really fun. Very frustrating, but fun. But because you could just have all this gold or all this treasure and stuff on your ship, and just all of a sudden the ship just comes by and just blows you away. So it's been frustratingly fun, but been playing with KKR and AN Knight. He's a new person, and he's fun to play with. But generally, it's been fun for the past couple of months playing with other friends with Sea of Thieves and mostly Trackmania. I've played so much Trackmania.
It is free on Steam, by the way. I did double
is
check.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd recommend. It brings you back memories if you like haven't played it in around 2020, like 2000s. It's really fun. What was I gonna say? Oh, I was gonna get. Well, I gotta be careful about what I'm gonna say. But Atomic Heart has been released. I know I mentioned that, but I'm kind of want to look into it more because I don't want to get into it. But there's some controversy with it. I don't want to mention it, but I kind of want to be careful with it if I were to play it or buy it. So I might not buy it. But and if you're interested, Atomic Heart is out, and I've mentioned that before. And what else? Oh, I'm sorry about this. Resident Evil 4 is in a couple weeks. I know you pre-ordered it, as mentioned, right? Yeah.
Every platform.
I will say, man, the new trailer, it blew me away. I'm really excited. It definitely seems like there's a character. I will say a spoiler. There's a one character that you find that dies in Resident Evil 4. That is Carlos. You meet him, and he dies in Resident Evil 4. The original.
Well, I guess I don't have to play it now. Oh,
wow,
dodge that one.
Yeah, he's a minor character. You're fine. But he's
a dead character.
He's not gonna. It seems like he's either gonna be in the game longer in this one, which is great, or I mean, he might die still, but it seems like you're gonna be like with him too, and they'll still add Sumoplex. It's just, and the horror still it's better. I feel like the horror. Well, I mean, I would say better in terms of graphics wise. Like,
yeah,
obviously it was released.
I would hope so.
Yeah, it was released on GameCube, and definitely still has. It definitely has the elements of, like Resident Evil 2 remastered. So and I've been enjoying that one. Me and Unbound were trying to get into Fallout, but we've been we've been kind of sporadic this last couple of weeks with stuff going
I forgot.
on.
I did sort of get back into that. I'm assuming you're talking about 76.
No, but 4.
Great game.
Yeah, I mean, I know 76 has its issues, and I really want to stay away from 76. And well, I know like I asked my friend the other day about Cyberpunk. I was like, and maybe we could talk about it now. Cyberpunk is like playable now, so like
only like a year later. It's fine.
Yeah, which fine. I get
it's
it.
Fine.
I mean, hopefully, like I'm glad they. I know we mentioned this, but it's just really disappointing that I know a lot of people were frustrated at the game, but man, if I was a developer like that, I would be like, look, here's an update. Sorry, we're still delayed. I'm sorry. Like if even like Stanley Parable has been delayed 3 years, 3 times, and I'm like, listen, you know what? I'm okay with it. At least they update me. I'm not gonna DM them, be like, what the hell? I'm at least you're transparent, and you'll still get the gamers interested. And at least you're being upfront and honest. Not, hey, you're paying $60, $70 for, well, not Stanley Parable.
Good luck.
But Cyberpunk, I assume, was like 60, 70.
Oh yeah, no, it was 60 when it came out.
Yeah, so spending $60, which is a lot. In terms of video, well, I'd say now, say a lot. Games are 70. And we talked about that. But I would say, like, man, I just hope. Yeah, I rather if Resident Evil 4 remake is delayed, I rather you tell me now, and not because I pre-ordered it. Like, well, for sure, like me pre-ordering it, I'm expecting it on whatever the 22nd or whatever it comes out. I don't know, I forgot.
Yeah.
But I don't want to like wait for my mail and be like, well, didn't get it. What the heck? It's not coming or what? Like,
yeah.
So, yeah, I'd rather be upfront and honest, and so I'm glad. Like, I don't see why Cyberpunk did that. Anyways, man, 7 minutes, and we just talked about. We didn't even get to a topic today. We just kind of blabbered.
That just means we have a topic for next time.
Yeah, see, this is what we do. So we just have to like not talk for like 3 months on end, and we'll just blabber for this whole month. I told Smoke and Ass, I'm like, we'll probably not get to the topic today because there's a lot to talk about. I feel like within the I'm just excited. I know you posted, and I just really wanted to be funny about City Skylines being released.
Oh no, 1,000%. The funny thing is, when you said that, I debated because I was like, okay, do I put this in the games chat or do I put this? I was like, nah, games chat is. Yeah, that seems to be a lot of times. That's
no, I meant that I posted it already there, and I already like.
Oh no! Yeah.
I actually like tagged KKR. I think right before that, saying like a person I follow is RT Game, and if you haven't seen his videos, he basically kind of messes around in the game. Like he'll build this like volcano and fill it up with sewer water or sewage and release it into the city, and it's great. And anyways, he like tweeted about it, like all excited about it, and I was like, because he might be. I feel like he's kind of the not trolly type, but he kind of gives that vibe of being a troll. So I'm like,
okay, yeah,
is it real? And then I looked at City Skylines Twitter account, and sure enough, City Skylines 2. Which I mentioned to Battery H was on my stream the other day, and I was like, "Oh, did you see Skylines? You might be interested because he plays a lot of simulation." Yeah. He just mentioned, which I hope they do, is like fix the dang traffic. That's it. And it looks very pretty. I mean, also, City Skylines has that element of that challenge that we're talking about. Like, it's meant to be a real, like, it seems like they seem like it's a more realistic game. Like, if you build a sewer next to the water plant, obviously that's going to have effects. People are going to get sick. Like, that's the element that's in place, and that's great. I love that. I love it a lot because it's just like, well, I messed that up. I need to fix this. But so like traffic was a challenge. Be like, I need to rearrange this in a way for traffic to be not busy. But I feel like the traffic, in my opinion, was a little bit too much. Like, you could upgrade the traffic as much as you want. You're still going to have issues with it. And it's like, I feel like it's a little bit brain surgery for traffic. It's just like the simple thing of traffic in a game about all these other elements in this game and one little thing of traffic. Like, I could see it being like a certain building or something being like that, but like just something small like that is just, I feel like, in my opinion, again, was really
especially
frustrating.
Because with the traffic, if you have congestion and everything, and you have emergency vehicles that need to get somewhere,
right,
they can't get there,
right,
and that can have detrimental effects on your whole city.
Yeah. So
if a whole city block burns down because the fire truck was stuck, on Fifth Avenue.
Yeah, basically, Battery H put this way: like, if you needed a mod for it to like fix itself, then it's a little bit too much. Which I was like, yeah, me personally, I think I mentioned this, is like, I don't like mods in my game. I like playing it plain. I know there's a lot of, every time I play Rimworld, for instance, people are like, oh, what mods are you playing? What mods are you playing? I'm like, bro, I don't play with any. I like the game, like,
nerd.
I mean, I play with some with Clay, for instance, with Don't Starve Together, because like there's just little features like music and stuff, but like that element of I don't like to change a game so much that it's affecting it a lot. I want to play it as original as possible. So, Battery H was mentioning it that way, of like, if you need a mod to like fix the roads, that's a problem. But but it looks gorgeous, and I'm really interested in it. And I'm sure there'll be more releases and more information in the next coming months. And
it was literally just announced very recent,
right? So I'm sure a lot of people, including myself, are. It's honestly, as I mentioned, probably the best city game since SimCity. Like,
it's fantastic,
right?
It's so good,
and then especially again, how the fact that is like, hey, EA has this new SimCity game, and they're like, funny, you're cute, and then just trampled them on like, hold my beer of, yeah, we build one better, and we're an indie developed game. And man, I could go on about, you had to play online, so if you're at your grandma's house, you can't play it. You have to go online.
Or if the servers are down, you can't play it like on release day.
Right.
Because I definitely wasn't playing that in my physics class, or trying to play it.
Again, I called it when it was released. I bet you they're going to disconnect multiplayer. They're going to disconnect online. Sure enough, they did.
Yep.
And then I was like, and then City Skylines came out. I'm like, well, heck with this game.
Yeah. There were, once they finally got it together with SimCity, there were elements that I liked. I did like that you could make a focused
get City Skylines.
I did like that you could make a focused city. Like, I really liked it based on my former username. You could make a casino city. You could specialize things. I do like that element a lot.
Right.
But yeah, the game
that was
definitely.
I guess the only thing about SimCity when it was released was like, hey, if you wanted just a casino city, yeah, you're gonna have more crime and stuff, and you're gonna have to detain that somehow, which is great.
Yep.
But
And that adds another element to,
right.
trying to figure. But yeah, it just left such a bad taste in
Man,
everybody's mouths.
yeah, man, I was so mad. I was just like, man, and I knew a lot of gamers were like,
Oh yeah,
not
I mean,
buying
I
this.
grew up with SimCity.
Yeah,
I remember playing SimCity on Super Nintendo. Then SimCity 2000 came along, and my goodness, that just kicked everything.
yeah,
And I know if I'm going to go on another little tangent real quick, but one of my favorite memories and favorite things about I think I brought this up when we were talking about what kind of game we would like to make, and I'm pretty sure I talked about it then. But with SimCity 2000, there were a couple other games, Streets of SimCity and SimCopter,
yeah,
where you could take a city from SimCity 2000,
and then fly
a city that
helicopter.
you built,
Yeah,
and you could import that into SimCopter, and you could play SimCopter, which already had its own fleshed out like
game.
story mode and game and everything, but you could do that in your
This
own city.
DLC.
You could play. This wasn't even DLC. This was a completely separate
Game, right? Yeah, I know.
This wasn't.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying is this wasn't just DLC. This wasn't, oh, they had SimCity 2000 and they made you buy this DLC that was called SimCopter. SimCopter was its own game by itself. You
Right.
didn't have to own SimCity 2000
True. Yeah.
to be able to play SimCopter. Same with Streets of SimCity. You could literally get in a car and drive around a city that you created in SimCity 2000. I don't think I've seen that kind of integration between multiple games at
In
all.
a long time. Yeah, that's
The
never gonna happen again.
closest the closest that I could ever say is a lot of
Developers
sports
get on it.
games now.
Right.
Hopefully, yeah. Any developers watching, please, any indie developers, any
Zach Fierce.
he's made some great games. He could do it. That would be incredible. The closest that I would say to a modern game doing that is in like sports games.
Right.
Sometimes you can transfer your character over to the new year.
Mm-hmm.
Like for MLB The Show, you can have a player that you created, and if from, let's say, MLB The Show 2020, and then you buy 2021, you could transfer your character from 2020. But I'm not putting that in the same league, pun intended, as the SimCity 2000, Streets of SimCity, SimCopter integration, because that's just a character that you're bringing over.
Right.
But yeah, any game developers out there, please try to do that if you can. I'm sure it'd be very difficult now with as complex as games are and everything, but I believe in you. You guys are awesome.
I meant to say I miss DLC. I miss expansion packs. That's what I meant to say.
Yes, that I could not remember the name for it, but
I guess this is an example of DLC in a way, but like
it was the predecessor for sure.
yeah.
I mean, you had The Sims, and then you had
Sims was
6,000 different expansion packs.
bro, hold on.
All of them great, of course.
Yeah, I still have them somewhere, but Sim Pet, Sim. I bought them all. Like I bought a lot of them, and they're just great.
I definitely didn't have a friend that downloaded them.
Well, I mean, what?
Huh?
We don't do that here.
What are you talking? Who are you? Why are you in my
I don't
house?
know. You're not Beskar Snake. We already established this, so
True.
You're good.
One final thing that I forgot to bring up earlier when we were talking about games that we played. I did finally get back, and I was lucky enough to play a game with some other extra lifers, and we had a lot of fun with that. I hope to see more of that.
You kind of like glitched out.
I got back into playing Civilization 6.
Oh,
Sid
yeah,
Meier's Civilization 6.
Yeah. I was just excited to watch you.
Yeah, and luckily was able to play with some other extra lifers, and I really hope we're able to do that more in the future, because that was a whole lot of fun.
Definitely let me know too.
Yes, yes, for sure. Hopefully there'll be another opportunity very soon, and we'll hopefully get more people because that was just a blast. That
that
game
seemed
is
really
already fun. But yeah, you
It's
just
not. I
add
feel like
some.
it's definitely not fun on your own. It's very clicky. But like, I feel like
It is.
with friends and stuff, it's like I watch. I say the Yogs cast again, but I watch the Yogs cast, and it's like really fun to like hear the conversations of like, oh, why is this archer not moving or whatever? Like, hey, Smoking Ace, why are you on my border? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah,
Or something like
that's
that.
the first time that I've ever played with a bigger group. I've played one on
Especially,
one
seems like
before, but
most of them were people that you never played games with too.
yeah, true. Yeah, I knew them through streaming through Extra Life and everything, but yeah, I haven't played games directly with them before. So that
Right.
was another way to branch out and another way to have fun with and just converse with even more people than that I've wanted to talk to, that I've wanted to collab with,
Right.
but just hadn't been able to yet. And so yeah, so look in the future to hopefully see a lot more of that, and we'll make
Definitely
sure to
let me
get
know.
Scouter in there,
Because I have
and
that game and I just it's not as fun solo.
mhm.
That game. Yeah, it's really fun to watch. I wish I watched more of it, and I kind of came late, and I was like, dang. And then you told me that you're almost ending. I was like, oh. And I felt bad also with the donation thing. I was like, oh, winner gets $5, but I should have, I obviously didn't know that, but it would be cool to just. I mean, obviously Rufio probably would have won, like maybe regardless, but like,
So I had watched him play a little bit before.
yeah,
Um, he's good.
yeah,
He is really good at that game. He is, um,
I know
yeah,
Aerodash
he's
a better
no
age for him.
slouch.
Yeah,
That's for sure. So I definitely was very lucky
still gotta
to
get the
be on
new
his team.
civilization. Still gotta get that. Did you? Sorry, we're almost done. Did you get? This is very important. GoldenEye Switch.
I have not yet.
We're good
Hey,
here. Thanks everyone for
I haven't
watching.
been invited by anyone to play it. So why would I spend my money right now?
What do you mean invited? Isn't that soul? Isn't that single player? Oh,
Yeah, it is.
I
It
was
is.
gonna say. I'm sorry, sir. Wasn't your name Smoking Ace 007 and you don't have GoldenEye in the Switch?
Hey,
Hmm.
because we can play GoldenEye Source with other people
For free.
in multiplayer for free. So
There's
yeah.
that. Fair enough. No,
But no,
I was
I
waiting
do.
for this. Waiting for the next podcast to be like, did you get GoldenEye?
Yeah,
I
no,
know my brother did, but
the game, that game is fantastic. I will get it at some point.
but
I'll wait for it to go on sale. Just kidding. It's
okay, buddy.
Nintendo.
Uh,
They do have some early Mario Day sales going on, and you can get Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, which I think came out on the Wii U in I think 2012, and I think it came out on Switch in 2018. It's down to $40, so it's probably the lowest it's
nice.
ever gonna be.
Yeah, that's what I like GameStop a little bit still because it's like I can buy cheap Wii
Why
Switches
is it
game. Right.
$40?
Uh, I still gotta get Strikers, Mario Strikers, but yeah.
Oh
Anyways,
yeah, I forgot about that.
I know. I'm really that was I love playing that a lot. I mean, I still have it. I guess I could still play it if I really
I never played Mario Strikers, but I played Mega Man Soccer.
wanted. Oh wow,
And I remember renting that one a few
nerd.
times. Heck yeah, you darn tootin' I am.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of it.
Anyways, that's funny. That's cool. Yeah, for sure.
All right, so today's topic. No,
Yeah, right. Jesus. Look, apologize. We wanted to catch up, and a lot of
yes,
gaming
we
news.
have.
And
Yes.
like I feel like I said this earlier, but this year was I'm excited for a lot of games coming out this year, and it's really good. I'm really excited about this year, and
One more
said that
final
last year, but
announcement really quick, just because we did
no,
get talking
but
about
okay.
it. Civilization, the next Civilization game was also announced recently too. If you didn't see that,
Oh, yeah, and
so we need to play. We need to
Age
play a
of
lot more
Empires.
Civ 6.
Age of Empires also gotta get. No,
Oh,
what's the one that got released? Age of Empire? No,
Age of Empires 4.
Yeah,
they made an Age of Empires 4. I think they're doing another Age of Mythology or a remaster or something. I never got into that series. That was not one that I played growing up. But I know there are a lot of people that really liked it, so I'm glad for them. And maybe it'll be something that I'll check out as well. I like I said, that one I never really got into. I was always very much more of an Age of Empires person. Ah, shoot, I forgot Company of Heroes 3 came out. Arrgh! There's too many games.
Really? I gotta pick that up then too.
It is released. My backlog.
Can I also randomly say Prison Architect is great? Get that game too.
Wait, what? You've never talked about that one before?
Prison Architect? Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. I was like, wait, I haven't.
That's the joke.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I mean, I don't know. I'm at this point that they're releasing too many DLCs, and so I can't catch up. And I found out recently that I tweeted to them for a while about adding a cat into Prison Architect, and finally they did it. And I was like, but when you hover over some things, it'll tell you, oh, like it's grayed out and say, oh, buy this expansion pack. But I was like, I hovered over the cat and it didn't say that. And so I tweeted to them like, thank you for getting that cat to get for dog sniffing. But how do I get it? It's like, oh, the Psych Ward DLC. I'm like, I'm getting that as soon as possible. But they added so many. They have a zombie one. They have a plague one. They have. I got gifted for my birthday Perfect Storm, which adds rats, I think, and thunder, which I assume decreases power or sets fires. I'm excited for. I love Prison Architect, but it's kind of like Clay, where it's like they have so many DLCs. It's like I love you guys, but I can't spend $12 or $15 every DLC, buddy. Like, come on.
I know this could be a whole different podcast, and maybe we'll come back to revisit this. So keep this as a seed in your mind. But a real quick question to you along those lines. So you love that game, you enjoy the content and everything. Would you rather see them work on and make Prison Architect 2, or continue with this DLC?
Yeah,
I like I said, I know that could be a whole podcast in and of itself. I know that's been a debate. Yeah, I know that's been a debate about like Grand Theft Auto 5 for a very long time, because they keep on putting new content, bigger, better, and all this stuff. And a lot of people are like, why don't you make Grand Theft Auto 6? And they're like, because we're still making money off of Grand Theft Auto 5. So why, so just keep that in the back of your mind.
And my notepad of podcasts stuff.
Yeah, just you talking about it just made me think that just popped in my head of how long can you make DLC for before you just go
maybe that's why anyways, we could talk about it. But maybe that's why City Skylines is doing that. It's like, you know what, they have a lot of DLC too.
They do. There's a ton of extra content.
But that might tune in next time. All right. I'm Scotterstone5. This has been Beskar Snake. Please check him out. He's a great streamer. Besides the fact he plays Metal Gear Solid, besides the point.
I'm going to have to ask you to get out.
Get out of here. I mean, basically, by the end of the month, it's just going to be all Resident Evil 4. So stay tuned. I'm just gonna play it to you will not hear from me, and that's probably why. I'm just kidding.
Oh, thank goodness, that's all it takes.
That's all it takes. I should have done that sooner. But
I should have talked to Capcom years ago.
Yeah. Check Beskar Snake. Plays a lot of great games. Besides, again, sorry, done. But no, great streamer, great friend, great extra lifer. Gonna start another poker event this year.
Yes, that little
sorry, last year's server. I'm gonna join it when we get back.
Little rumblings have been put out there. So Yes.
I want
as
to
am
beat
I.
you. It's not going to happen. But anyways,
That's what I love about cards. Anything can happen.
Beskar Snake on Twitter, Twitch. Check him out.
Thank you.
You can find this podcast at Scouterzone5 on YouTube. That's me. And on Spotify, search Robot Attack. Really appreciate it. We're also on. I have a coffee set up, so if you, as I mentioned, if there's only a way to support this podcast, that's a way. And half of it will go. I owe you money. Half of it will go to Beskar Snake's Extra Life.
You're supposed to forget about that.
Shush.
You shush.
It just helps to. I do pay a monthly subscription for this podcast, so it does help cover that cost of. I know it's not a lot, but hey, if you like this stuff and support charity, appreciate it. You checking it out. There's some cool behind the scenes stuff, unedited stuff. Or eventually, I would like to do stuff that's unedited, and just like obviously if it's personal. Of Beskar Snake telling me he has a rash, I won't include that. But right there. But check it out. Anyways, yeah. I've been Scouterzone5. This has been Beskar Snake. Thank you so much again, and we'll be back. I promise. I'm sorry.
Glad to be back.
Yeah,
glad to see you again.
We're here.
Nah, sometimes life happens.
Okay, that's why we went a little bit over today. You're welcome.
Little bonus for y'all.
Bonus time. All right. Thanks everyone for watching. See you next time. Bye.
Thanks everybody. Bye.